Hey everyone, it's Derek with OPTP, and for our Summer of Savings, this week is Myofascial Release Week. Today, we're going to be looking at two different techniques to release the glute medius. Let's get started. Okay, so for both of these release techniques today, I'm going to be using our PODS release and stabilization tools. These are the ideal size and density to get a nice deep release of the hips without a lot of added pain or discomfort. So I'm going to only use one POD here. Put the other to the side. Now, the glute medius originates along the crest of the ilium and goes down and inserts along the greater trochanter of the femur. So you want to be above the greater trochanter of the femur, obviously, and below the crest of the ilium. Now, from this position here, I'm going to bring the POD to where it's parallel with my body. I'm going to begin with just the leg extended here. And I'm going to have to turn slightly to really get along the glute medius. So you don't want to be sitting directly on top with your hips square to the ceiling. You're going to need to rotate a little bit to the side to really get on the glute medius. Now from here, I'm going to bring both hands down to the floor towards the side where the POD is positioned, and I'm just going to let my elbows flex as I drop my body weight down towards the floor and then push myself back up. We're going to begin with a nice little active release here where I'm just letting the hip roll over that POD. It's tough to see, but it's definitely taking place, and I feel a wonderful little self-massage going on. Now I'm going to do this for about 30 seconds, and we can change the orientation of the POD as well. We can bring it kind of 90 degrees to where it's perpendicular with the body and do the same thing. Again, you can work all along the lateral aspect of the hip here, repositioning the POD as needed. Now after we finish up with the active release, we're going to go into something a little bit more passive. So after letting the body roll over that POD for about 30 to 45 seconds, we're going to find a sweet spot, so find an area where there's some tension and tightness, and then I'm going to let the elbows and forearms drop down towards the floor, really letting that body weight sink deep into the POD here, and this just feels absolutely wonderful. Really needing to breathe through this one. One other thing that we can do to increase the intensity of the release and get even deeper into the tissue is we can bring the non-working side, that foot, a little further away from the body, then cross that top leg, turn the hips, and get deep into the hip complex that way as well. You're gonna have to play around the positioning of the hands, but we can get into that active release where we're rolling over the POD, and then do something a little bit more passive as well, where we're just kind of letting the body weight sink deep. So play around with these techniques. These are great ways to release the glute medius and surrounding muscles of the hip complex. All right, everyone, thanks so much for watching. If you want to learn more about our PODs, just go to optp.com. While you're there, don't forget to check out all the great content and sales that we have going on this week as part of our Summer of Savings. Thanks.